Yo, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Praise Party Radio Show right here on Southside Dash. And if you're looking at it, we are right here streaming on Facebook and YouTube. You just heard Lion and the Lamb by a wonderful artist we have in the studio today. His name is 2.0. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, good people? What's going on? Thank y'all for having me.
Man, thank you for being here, man. So what you got going on, bro?
Man, so just moving and shaking, man, trying to stay active out here. You know, I just released a video for a new song called Flex on Me.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, man, that's grabbing some attention. No projects on the release, man, maybe a single or two, but really just trying to network and just kind of fit in different spaces. Somebody gave me a phone call, a OG of mine a couple weeks ago, and he was like, I guess he had a word from God for me, and he was like, man, like, jump into different boxes and dominate those different boxes.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like almost like the parable of the talents, how he gave them, 1, 5, 1, 3, 1, 2, 1, and all that kind of stuff. And just really, it opened my eyes to God blessed you with multiple talents.
Yeah.
So take those talents and flip every single one of them. Don't just be a rapper, be a producer. Don't just be a producer, be an engineer. Don't just be an artist, be a writer.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just be a writer. Help other people, consult other people from a business standpoint as an entrepreneur. So that's what I'm doing, man. I'm out here, man.
Hey, man, it's funny that you say that because when I went to Art Institute of Atlanta, they told me I had to be a super producer.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do you mean by a super producer? They said you gotta be a videographer, yep. You gotta be a graphic designer, you gotta be all these different type of things in order to make it in the industry. You can't just be somebody in the industry making beats on Fruity Loops or making beats in general. You gotta actually put in that grind for people to actually see you.
Yeah, gotta level up, man. Because if everybody doing it, what's gonna set you apart?
Right? Yeah.
Well, so one of the things that caught my attention about you a dope artist.
Appreciate that.
You've been doing, like, I love how you move. You just move. You don't even tell them, you just move. And you see 2.0 is here, 2.0 is there, 2.0 is everywhere.
Yep.
Man, so, I've seen this guy since I was 18 years old.
Oh, wow.
Man. Same swag, man.
Man.
Same swag as it, and I've always seen him in different situations. Like I'll just be scrolling on Facebook. It's like, man, I know him. I've seen him before. And it's crazy how he moves in silence, but he still makes a big impact.
Absolutely. And so when we seeing that, so during the pandemic, and I think it was, on the probably November, December,
yep.
I saw you start writing.
Yes, sir.
So we said you were segueing right into it. So you started writing. And what caught my attention was the articles and the titles. And I was like, oh man, I have to really sit down and look at this, because I have felt the same way in all those articles that you wrote. And you were talking about Christian hip hop and gospel rap and everything like that. One of them that stuck out, and Josh, if you could put that on the screen whenever you get a chance, says, I am not Lecrae, I'm not Canton, and I'm cool with that. Can you just, talk about that?
Yeah, man. So the series, the article series I started writing was called Finding My Way.
Yeah.
And basically what I wanted to do was share with other artists like yourself who have experienced some of the things and challenges that we experience, not necessarily fitting into CHH, but then also not being as received in mainstream because we gospel rap.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to kind of share and encourage my brothers and sisters, like, here are some of the things that I've learned so that you at least get a head start on, you know what I'm saying? Some of this stuff. And with that article in particular, man, like, I know a lot of us feel like we need to go to the top outlet and the one that everybody knows. And it's like, well, what we didn't realize is that this outlet has a demographic and an audience that they specifically cater to.
Right.
And so, if that's the case, it would be more to our benefit to figure out who is God sending us to, rather than trying to jump in front of an audience just because they big.
That's
just
good.
Because it's a certain it looks like something we want, but we don't know what Lecrae had to go through to be in front of the audience that he's been through. We see a little piece of his struggle, and as time went on, it was like, oh, bro, like you got it bad. Like I don't really want
right.
That ain't what I want.
Right.
Or like Canton Jones, who I I consider those both of them to be the OGs of gospel rap and Christian hip hop.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, you see him, and it's like, man, like, dude is just so awesome, man. He get in front of them crowds and he bring the old and the young together,
Right.
and he do this, that, and the third. And it's like, yeah, but you don't know what he had to go through to get there. You
Right.
don't know what, you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, it's like, are you equipped for that?
Yeah.
Mm.
And if the answer is no, then it's like, you do better to just see God and see, one, who he sent you to, but then two, like, maximize the talents and the purpose that you have been given.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I wanted to share, because I think we all go through it. You know what I'm saying? I think we all have these moments where it's like, people that we respect, I won't say idolize, but people that we really look up to, and we say they made it. They got some level of success that we want. All right, let me try to be like them. And it's like, no.
Right.
No.
I think social media and our social media mixed in with our perception has given us the false sense of what made it is.
Yeah.
You're exactly right, because Court, when I was younger, we was going to the 47 spot. We saw people like 2.0, and then we also saw some people like 13th Disciple and stuff like that. And we being that young, we're like, oh, we definitely want to be them. We want to be at that status. But the crazy part is they were the people that were catering to us.
Yeah.
So they had already been at a specific level, like he was talking about. And it's different when you try to be at the Lecrae level or the Kent Jones level or the KB level. You're asking for, with new levels comes new devils.
Right.
And with more money comes more problems.
Right.
So we often think from a worldly perspective, if we saw Jay-Z make it and we saw these people make it, then maybe we can do it the exact same way, but we don't know what we're asking for. We just see grass is always greener on the other side.
Not even knowing that's artificial turf.
And there it is again, we're talking about comparisons.
Right.
Comparisons, how we're comparing our success to that of somebody. You don't know what Jay-Z had to go through. You don't know what Lecrae had to go through. You don't even know what KB had to go through just to make it to Reach. And then now that he's outside of Reach, just to go somewhere else.
Think about it like this. If I see this cake, I see this finished food product. The only way that you're gonna get to that product is with the same process and the same ingredients.
Yeah.
Or even knowing the recipe, you can have all the ingredients, all the same exact ingredients, but if you don't follow the recipe, you're not gonna get the same product, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think where many of us fail is we focus on the end product, but we don't focus on the recipe, the process, and we're not honest with ourselves about what exactly the ingredients that we have to work with.
Right.
That reminds me of the it's not This Christmas, but it's a Christmas movie with Danny Glover. The whole movie, he's trying to duplicate the recipe of the sweet potato pie.
You can, I mean, it comes with that with anything. Like with anything food wise, if you miss one important ingredient, it throws the whole thing off. So you can't skip steps. 2.0, I want to ask you this question. I've been wanting to ask somebody this because I want some clarity on this. Is there a difference? Because I know we are the same. But is there a difference between gospel rap and Christian hip hop?
Absolutely. Man, let me tell you.
Oh, here we go. He set up for that one.
Yeah.
Set up.
So, and just a little context behind it, where I'm so opinionated. I when I got saved, I didn't know I wasn't an artist. So I got saved around 1920, and I had no ambitions to be involved in music or anything. Like at the most, I thought I was going to be a producer, be able to produce or something on the side. I thought I was going to be a pro athlete, pro tennis player, to be honest.
Okay, that's what the money is.
Yeah, with the money reside. Hey, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's 2 Peter where it talks about the getting to divine nature, and it's like I look at it like a pyramid. These are different steps to get there. The first step is your faith virtue, and then add to your faith virtue knowledge. Right. So I felt like if this is something that God sent me to, I need to understand it. I need to learn it. I need to study it. I need to research it, and I need to do whatever it takes for me to embody this to really fulfill my purpose and my calling in it.
Yeah.
Right. So studying this whole gospel rap Christian hip hop situation. So the more I looked at it, they're not actually the same, because gospel rap tends to have one, cater more to an African American demographic, the black church basically.
Right.
And Christian hip hop, this is surface level. Christian hip hop tends to focus more on the
White.
Yeah. I was
Conservative.
Well, I'll say other demographics because I don't want to make it racial. It's more so about cultural.
Wow.
You have a point because when I was going to the 47 spot, I went to a white church,
Right.
and all they would talk about was Lecrae, KB, all the people at Reach Records. It wasn't real. And then when I would name somebody like Gospel Gangsters or Grits, they'd be like, "Oh, we don't know who that is," because exactly. But they tended to gospel rap. They weren't Christian hip hop. Christian hip hop is worldwide. You'd have people at this white church that were Hispanic, that were
Absolutely.
different cultures. There was a I can't remember. There was a Thai guy that was at the church that repped hard for Lecrae and KB. Everywhere they go, they would play the songs because it tended to their demographic.
Right. And let's go to the next level of that. There are theological differences. So like from gospel rap, there tends to be more of a focus on a Pentecostal, Kojic experience, Baptist experience, those that are more in alignment with the African American diaspora, if you will.
Got you.
But then you have more of the Reformed theologists, the Calvinists, those who are more of a Methodist, Episcopalian, even some Catholics who are like, we don't want all of the extra stuff, the experiential stuff. We just want text. But what does the Bible say? You know what I'm saying? What is give me dry, cold. I hate to say it's cultural again. It's like some people make food without no seasoning. I don't want no seasoning. Don't you put no salt in my food? I don't want.
You better teach us, man.
I don't want no flavors.
Don't put that in the potato salad.
Don't put no flavors in it. I want my macaroni and cheese with raisins in it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Lord have mercy.
that to me, that is Christian hip hop. You know what I'm saying? But then after you get past the theology of it, let's stay there because there are I know a lot of people in both industries, and I've seen where gospel rappers would be ostracized and scrutinized by the Christian hip hop community because the focal points of the gospel, they're all in the Bible, but because they chose to focus on liberation theology, they chose to focus on a prosperity gospel. They chose to focus on, what God did for me and what I have, what God gave me, as opposed to focusing on what I can give God, what I had to sacrifice to become saved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But where I find where I kind of try to fit in is like, I won't say a happy medium, but it's a third tier where it's all and or both and
inclusive,
either or. You know what I mean? So it's like, yes, I do understand the place for what God gave me, and I also understand the place of sacrifice. I know how to be abased and how to be abound, how to suffer lack and how to have plenty.
Right.
But the thing about it is, all of it, I personally feel like at some point you have to show the application. It can't just be about the stuff.
Yeah.
It can't just be about sin and salvation. The same way it just can't be about, God gave me plenty of money. I'm riding good. I'm tithing off $1 million. You know what I'm saying? I threw a band in the offering basket. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's cool, but what is your life like?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do you have peace? Do you have joy? Do you have love? Do you have temperance? Do you have, you know what I'm saying? Are you able to forgive? Are you able to testify? Are you able to minister this word without quoting scripture? Because that also means that your life is something that you really live this faith. It's not just something that you saying out of the book. Mm-hmm. And that was also something that I and now this is the third level that I felt like was missing, is that CHH tend to only testify about sin and salvation. So you hear a lot of, I used to do this, I used to be this, and then God saved me, God changed me, and now I'm this. Now you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of preaching.
Yeah, but what happens after? What happens after?
There you go. I had I'm sorry, let me know if I'm
go ahead. No, you good.
But I had I started my career as a part of a group called TNT. And
I remember TNT.
Yeah, that's my brother, man. They just kept having babies, man. So he couldn't hit the road, and we
kept
couldn't
on
move,
having
but-
sex.
Saints are horny.
He was obedient to being fruitful and multiplying. I love my brother though, Toro Da Vinci. He back making music now. You know, he's a genius. Matter of fact, his single that he just released is called Genius.
Cool.
Wow.
But we would talk about these types of topics often. And on one of our projects, we had a song called Teach Me How to Live. And the whole point of it was, now that I've died to self, now that I've died to sin, how do I live and function in that resurrection power?
Mhm.
How do I live as the Jesus acts and not the gospel, the gospel's Jesus? Or you get what I'm saying, or flip it. How do I live as the Jesus? How do I function in this world as the word of God?
Right.
You know what I mean? Wrapped up in the flesh and all that good stuff, versus it just being like, well, first let me die to this world and the sin in me, so that Galatians 2:20, now Christ crucified in me, so not I live, but the flesh. Forgive me, I'm quoting scripture.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Because I don't get to talk, you know.
It's all good. So
It's all good.
So 2.0, man, what you got going on this? Where can the people find you? Tell us about all your projects. We know you got the new single called Flex on Me.
Flex on Me, yeah. So that video just dropped. Would definitely appreciate the support for that. I got a single or two in the pipeline, but right now, man, I'm really just trying to get active in networking and why y'all got me quoting all this scripture today?
Hey, man, I
It just
don't
come
know,
out.
Man, that's
it
just
just happened.
Look, that's
Yeah.
just a Praise Party radio show.
Yeah, man, you should
Maybe-
be you when you
we
come
are-
up here. Be you when you come up
If I don't do it, somebody else is gonna do it. I promise you.
Look,
because he gonna do
It's
it.
the spirit in this place, the spirit that rests here. That's
Oh, come on, sir. Come on, sir.
yeah, but that Acts 1:8, Jesus told him, be a witness to me, first unto me, and to Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and the rest of the world or whatnot. And so that's really been my focus right now, just kind of being that witness and spreading the influence and the brand, and just kind of so I've started writing to kind of hop into that box to kind of serve some of my brothers and sisters in CHH. But then I've also expanded my mentorship. So like I used to work at a school in Four Seasons. I don't know if y'all know, that's one of the last hoods in the city. And while I was there, all the kids in the neighborhood and apartments, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just kind of felt the need to just kind of be that big brother, you know what I'm saying? And I'm no longer there, but I'm still connected to them. But recently I've started, mentoring different high schools and sports teams and that kind of thing, and just kind of sharing what God gave me. And it ain't always like, hey, you need to give your life to Christ. Sometimes it's just, I'm available. You know what I'm saying? I care enough about you to show up to support. You know what I'm saying? And some of my mentees that have been with me the longest, it's like, sure, we have talks about Jesus, but the rest of the time is whatever we have in common, whatever the interest is. Some of them came to me through music, so their focus is, I want to rap.
Yeah.
All right. So over the holiday break, I got a couple of my mentees some studio sets.
Okay.
And got them their own home studio. Keep them out of trouble and invested in them like that. But then, guess what? If there was another time where one of my young brothers thought he had COVID, he called me to pray.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So different things like that is like, it's not always just about, did you get saved today? All right, you ain't ready? All right, I'll call you back tomorrow. You ready to get saved today? All right, cool. Nah, all right, I'll call you back tomorrow. You ready to get saved today? Okay, you get ready. You got saved today? You coming to church? All right, what next? If they say yes to all that, what next?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Can you be available in love? So anyway, I'm monologuing. But
Man, it's all good. You're exactly right, because that's the only way that they're gonna show that we are the light, by showing them love.
Right.
We get so caught up in the chastisement of things, and we get so caught up in, hey, you need to do this because it's by the book and it's by the. That's not showing love. If I tell you,
that's just being religious.
right? If I know that you're wrong, I still have to love you through that. I still have to love you through that. Still have to be with you at the end of the day. If I'm wrong, he's gonna tell me I'm wrong, but he's gonna actually help me through that at the same time.
Right.
So I don't feel like, well, you just telling me I'm wrong. At the end of the day, I still feel like, man, I've got a friend, and I need to know what he has in order to be like this to somebody else.
2.0, what's your social media, brother?
Oh yeah, y'all can find me everywhere and everything. The number 2, the word point 0.